sports fans, Coach Nick here, and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. Don't miss our halftime and post-game show coming up tomorrow during Game 4. But let's talk about Game 3 because it's an interesting contrast to Game 2. In Game 2, the Heat blew out the Spurs with their athleticism and their pressure on the ball and getting runouts, whereas in Game 3, the Spurs blew out the Heat with execution, firing the ball around the perimeter and getting the Heat into scramble mode and giving up open threes. Danny Green and Gary Neal will shoot that well in the future if they get that kind of time and that kind of rhythm. So expect the Heat to come out more physical and really try and put pressure on them. But here's the thing. If the Heat were to play like the Spurs and run an offense that really moves the ball like that and has sound fundamentals, no one would beat them. Not even the guys from Space Jam coming from outer space or from wherever they came from. But they don't. They rely on their athletic ability and talent more than their system of offense, and that's going to yield them poor shots. LeBron James is completely stuck in his head. They're not running the sets that help him the most. They're simply asking him to make a play for him or for somebody else into the teeth of the defense, and it's very frustrating to watch. For Gary Neal's first three-pointer, the Heat actually play terrific defense for most of the shot clock. They take away the pass from Manu and the post up to Duncan. Neal does a smart thing by driving and getting the ball moving quickly. As Manu and Duncan execute a sideline screen and roll, Mike Miller must rotate over the roll man. Norris Cole should be moving with him to take the pass back to Neal, but doesn't, leaving just enough daylight to get a good look. Gary Neal isn't shy when it comes to shooting, and now that he's warmed up a little with that first three, Miller does a poor job picking him up in transition. Birdman doesn't step out either, as Neal nails a wide open three. It's gotten so bad for Dwyane Wade's perimeter game that Danny Green just dares him to shoot from 18, and he airballs it. Coming back down the court, Popovich wants the Spurs to attack quickly so the Heat defense can't get set. Wade makes matters worse by helping one pass away, and Green gets in the act by nailing a wide open corner three. The roll man is crucial to attacking this Heat defense, but it doesn't have to be the initial pass to him. Keep your eye on Duncan as he rolls to the hoop. Because Manu skips the ball, it allows Duncan to get great position down low for the rebound. This is simply well-designed offense. On the inbounds play, they run Manu through three screens. Watch how LeBron switches. There are now two guys on Manu, and Miller decides it's more important to run towards Kawhi Leonard instead of the guy one pass away. Neal makes them pay. At the end of the first half, the Heat hold for one shot. With a 3-second difference, there shouldn't be much the Spurs could do if the Heat planned this right. LeBron gets the point guard screen, which has worked well for them, but Danny Green goes underneath the screen and continues to give LeBron 5 feet of room, daring him to shoot. LeBron tries to take him to the basket, but this isn't much of a move, almost as if he's saying, I'm 6'9" and you're 6'6", there's nothing you can do. Well, there is something, and that's block this careless shot. Meanwhile, the Spurs break into a textbook fast break, and Neal, who is already on fire, nails another three. The Spurs run their patented loop play, and this drags Bosh out to help on the last pin down. A simple pocket pass to Duncan gets the Heat defense into scramble mode. Duncan almost toys with Miller, but it's Wade who's not closing out immediately like he should, giving Green a wide open three. It's LeBron's turn to not box out Kawhi Leonard, who's been killing them on the boards all series. LeBron again doesn't get a body on Kawhi, who snatches the rebound, and this time, Green doesn't miss. The Spurs run the most basic motion set you can find, and on this screen and roll on top, Bosh cannot give Green that much room. It might not seem like a lot, but this is certainly not the kind of urgent defense you'd expect from a team about to be down 2-1 in the finals. The Heat decide to switch everything on defense to prevent any more open shots. While it wouldn't matter much on this shot, Neal certainly felt confident going up against a big man in Birdman and pulling on this crazy 30-footer. Again, attacking early is the name of the game for the Spurs. A double ball screen forces Birdman into a position he's not used to, defending the three ball. He's way too late getting a hand up. And by the end, watch how LeBron just gives up on this play and doesn't even attempt to close out on Danny Green. Let's get to LeBron's troubles. Out of horns, they try putting him in the weak side corner. This is a great idea since he can get a stagger double screen. You can see how this all takes way too long. No one is moving fast enough. However, LeBron gets the backdoor cut and a switch. Duncan is now guarding him, but instead of taking him to the hole, maybe getting free throws, he bails the whole defense out by shooting a long and very inefficient 2. Here's the Ray Allen ball screen that has worked so well in getting Ray a three-pointer. Again, watch what the Spurs defense is doing, going under the screen and begging him to shoot a long 3. To make matters worse, he doesn't get back, no one does, and Kawhi Leonard gets a leak-out dunk. The Heat also cross-screen to get LeBron open in the low post. Kawhi gets a body on him and LeBron doesn't seize the position close to the basket. Had he done a left foot pivot, it would have enabled him to stay in the lane and be aggressive. Instead, he executes a left foot turn, putting him outside the lane. Kawhi does an excellent job of not going for the fake, and LeBron again bails the defense out with a mid-range jumper. On another pick and roll that resulted in a switch of Duncan onto LeBron, he finally gets aggressive and does the right thing, taking him right to the hoop, only he just can't finish the layup. On the replay, you can see there isn't a foul. And by this point in the game, LeBron is stuck in his head. Green gives him 5 feet, he pulls the trigger, but it just doesn't look right. So there you have it, sports fans. It's rare to see a caliber player like LeBron have so much trouble in a game. Hesitant, didn't look like he was very comfortable out there, and basically had the same issue he had in Game 2 for much of Game 2. So now we've had a couple games where we've seen a little bit of weakness in LeBron's game, and I think part of it has to do with Spoelstra not calling the right kind of plays that will help him. Instead, they're handing him the ball and saying, please, do your magic into the teeth of a defense that's been preparing for you for 2 days. It's not a great recipe for success. They need to get back to setting screens for him where he flashes to the free throw line, and then they had that back screen for Wade with Bosch. That's great stuff. They don't run hardly at all. They need to get him more post-ups. It's just weird they don't run the kind of plays that we've seen that help LeBron get better shots and get better shots for his teammates. Now, will LeBron continue to shoot this poorly? Probably not. But here's the thing. If the Spurs handle the ball, they're not going to lose the game. If they turn it over, they're going to lose a lot. Now, the Heat, on the other hand, can play a really good basketball game, be aggressive on defense, and still lose. I think that there's a lot more leeway here for the Spurs. As long as they can keep those turnovers down below 12 or 13, they're going to win these games, because I feel like the Heat defense is still way too over-aggressive and out of position, and if the Spurs can get shots at the rim, they're going to win. Well, thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for our halftime and post-game show coming up during Game 4, and don't forget at B-Ball Breakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in?